There's like a lot of opportunities in our region. We help our region in the energy transition. We try to boost the number and the quality of startups and scale-ups that are players in this field. We have like knowledge institutes, universities. I would say like government is still a key stakeholder because we all see the energy transition. We should rely more on heat networks in the near future. We have a geothermal heat because our region is really well positioned. We should not operate in splendid isolation, because then we see that like companies, they move to wherever the most attractive conditions are for funding. In the end, we need heat in our energy mix to become sustainable and to grow in this region. So I think there's so much to do.
Welcome back to another episode of the Startup Passport by Econsulate. Today we are joined by Bram Spitzer. Thank you very much for joining. You are the Energy Innovation Officer at the Province of South-Holland. Is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, there's two of us. So together we help our region in the energy transition. And on the other hand, we try to boost the number and the quality of startups and scale-ups that are players in this field.
And how do you see the state of the region right now?
I think we're doing quite okay, but that might not be something to be fond of, because I think that's like driven by disruptions. So we've seen the recent war and the net congestion, and those are like two key drivers of new innovation, which we which we definitely need. And on the other hand, there's like a lot of opportunities in our region. So we have like knowledge institutes, universities. We're really proud to have TU Delft, because we see a lot of startups and initiatives from that region and from that ecosystem. So I would say we're doing a good job there.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you already mentioned some aspects that you cannot control, that the majority of people cannot control, but then also organizations that can help to force a sustainable energy innovation, let's say. Who do you think is the most important stakeholder or organization behind something like this?
Well, to be honest, I would say like government is still a key stakeholder, because we all see the energy transition, and especially in our region, I think we do and we should rely more on heat next to electricity, and to use heat instead of gas as a resource, especially in the industry that we have here. And we see that the heat transition is like slowing down a bit. And that's driven by the national government that's slowing down things. So we are waiting for new legislation, which takes a long time. And salderingsregeling was cancelled. So there's like many different, not showstoppers, but factors that are slowing down the energy transition. So that's the demand side. On the other hand, we see the supply side. So the setup of new technologies and startups and scale-ups, and that's still growing.
And talking about the governments with legislations, regulations, from your experience, have they rather been holding up the process, is something that you just mentioned, or can they also have a positive impact?
So like the government there's not one government, so there's like different government layers, but there's also like different teams or organizations within the government. So on one hand, we're pushing energy transition. So for example, there's the salderingsregeling today. So we like to see that consumers or house owners, they put up like solar on their roof, while on the other hand, we see net congestion. So then we need to set up systems, or DSOs, the grid operators, they have like systems in place that can turn them off in case of net congestion. So it's still one government, but you see like there's like different sides of the same page here.
And how much room would you say in the sector, and especially in the region, is there for innovation? You mentioned working together with startups. How much opportunity is there for the startups to actually get in the field and to have their innovation incorporated into the whole system?
Well, there's like a developed innovation playing field. So I would say this is like a perfect environment to set up a startup and to grow it and to create products. But I would say that the market should not be limited to this region only, or to this country. So we see there's like, here's this Rotterdam-based company Gradient. They do software for digital twins of heat networks. and their clients are already all over the globe. So that's an example that we love to see. While at the same time, we know that that they're launching clients. We're also here in this region, because in this region, as I mentioned before, we should rely more on heat networks in the near future. So this is one example of the perfect conditions we have here, because we have like residual heat from the harbor. We have a geothermal heat, because our region is really well positioned to get heat from the earth, literally, and that creates a head start in thermal heat and digital solutions in that sense.
And is there also a communication, I assume so, but also a collaboration between the different regions? And in that case, the situations might differ maybe per region, but how are you working together with different regions outside of South-Holland?
Yeah, like in many ways, different ways. So, for example, we have like an investment fund from the province that's called Energiek, and there are like other investment funds across the Netherlands, all focused on the energy domain. And of course, there's like collaboration between these regional funds, national funds like InvestNL. So this is just one example, but you're right, we should not operate in splendid isolation, because then we see that like companies, they move to wherever the most attractive conditions are for funding.
And you, from a personal standpoint, especially focusing on startups, maybe outside of what we've been talking about now, you also supported startups and scale-ups yourself in different fields with energy, mobility, and security, correct?
Yes, I would say I'm a professional in innovation or funding of innovation, in digital innovation, and digital can be like in different domains. So I would say some domain knowledge might help, but if you know the basics about how the startup ecosystem or funding ecosystem is working, then you're not set to like a specific vertical.
And can you use those experiences that you have working with let's say companies that are still related to the field, but all not necessarily in the same pinpoint sector? Is that something that you can make use of in your position right now? Because sometimes innovation might need also, again, working with startups, scale-ups to ideally not only offer them the opportunity to step into the field, but maybe also offer them advice.
Yes, so we have like also like field labs and investment funds, and they support like companies that have a slight different focus, because it would not be wise to put all your money like on one topic. So you're right. So we see that there's like a portfolio of innovation, and that's also what we support, or what we want to see in this region, that we have like different portfolios on software or on geothermal energy or on hydrogen. So there's like different portfolio-based approach on innovation, and also to set up the innovation instruments that support us, like field labs, like investment funds, like clusters, and also support for human capital and access to market. So we closely collaborate there with different organizations.
And in the long run, just to finish it off, also, what are you expecting or hope for the region in that sense? You already mentioned focusing on heat. You already mentioned aspects that the government can get involved in a positive way. Is there anything else that would be ideal to happen, let's say?
Yeah, well, another crisis would speed this up. So I'm sorry to say that we might face another crisis, but in the end, I think we need to go forward. So I see that on certain domains, like in the heat transition, it's slowed down a bit now. But in the end, we need heat in our energy mix to become sustainable and to grow in this region. So I think there's so much to do. I will easily survive until I will retire, and like many years from now.
Yeah, and that will be very interesting to follow about everything you just said. So thank you very much for giving us this insight on the region, and thank you for joining the podcast.
You're welcome.